Today is one of those days where I can just say, Susan, I like you a lot. I like you a lot. Okay, getting to know you. Such a worthy conversation for us all to be having. Really with ourselves, but we're here to inspire one another. So I'm inspiring you on how I'm getting to know myself. And perhaps you guys will inspire me and we'll continue down this road because this is the most important project we can ever do. Getting to know yourself will give you access into the amazingness of yourself, whatever that may be. Only you know. Okay, so getting to know myself. So one of the things that I have been recently on board with is the thoughts that I think when I'm watching something or I'm experiencing something. I call them the background noise. And the background noise to me is important because it's all parts I should know about. And what are those parts that are judging or scared or whatever's coming up? And I'm going to give you some examples, not as truths, but as to be able to point to the story that I'm speaking about. So I'm having a conversation with someone. I'm taking my opinion about that conversation. And then even behind that, I'm hearing more parts of myself. That's the part I'm talking about. Sorry. It must be good because it's really deep in my throat. And a throat is a direct relationship to communication. Maybe there's a part of me. There is a part of me that is afraid to communicate all of this for fear that you will think I've lost my ever-loving mind. And yet, if I'm talking about myself and trying to discover new things about myself, how could that be judged as something negative unless something inside of me, see the background talk we're talking about, unless something inside of me doesn't want me to see it or know it or identify it. See, it's getting good. What part of me is afraid it won't be loved? The part in me that has felt judged and not worthy of being shown because it doesn't fit inside the box, right? The box, the human box. But the truth is, I want to love all parts of myself. And not from like, I want to love everybody, part of myself. I want to love every part of myself. I want to take every part of myself that feels weird or awkward and just say you are loved. So I'll do that right now. Susan, you are loved. Mother, Father, God, Source loves me unconditionally and has made me, and it has made me perfectly. Just because a human part of me doesn't understand the other magical parts of me doesn't make me weird. It just makes me not knowing myself very well. So I ask you, Mother, Father, God, and my I am presence in all the parts of me that are ready to love the unlovable parts of myself that think they're unlovable. I ask for your help to find them, seek them out, and bestow love on them and worthiness. That feels good. That actually felt really good. Why do we look outside of ourselves and have anything other than love and admiration for the person just like you that came to traverse amnesia and lower density. Why? I feel like we all know this secret, but it's hidden deep within all of us. And it's afraid of the greater parts of ourselves, acknowledging and seeing it, and afraid it won't be loved. So it goes into hiding, and it hides, and it says, I'm not that amazingness from which I see the whole world created from. And we put a lot of effort and energy into creating something in this reality system before we create something within ourselves to feel proud of, which is how we feel about ourselves and how we identify others. I know all of this because I'm seeing it within myself. Have I figured it all out? Am I perfect in its mastery of it? Oh no. I am just identifying, and I'm taking the steps like you are. See, I believe in my vision for this amazing world. And I know that if this amazing world is to exist in my vision, I have to, I want to ensure all parts of me feel amazing and magical. Not from a fairy, airy standpoint, but from real solidness, on looking and saying, if you don't feel that way, self, tell me why. And then I look to bring in the light from heaven, because I know I'm not doing this alone. And that's what I got to discover this last year in 2018, when my worlds were all like rushing down around me, and I was trying to figure out, what am I here for? And seeing a lot of chaos in the world, that was heartbreaking. There's no aware part of me that thought or it was contributing to that unawareness part that would allow for lack of love or abuse to love. And then I started getting to know myself. And in the process of getting to know myself, I saw that the things that I saw out in the world were hidden deep within myself. A truth, a belief, a fear. And I also realized that I was going at life alone, without spirit on my side assisting. I wasn't asking for any assistance. I was traversing this journey, this human journey, speaking about spirituality and holding myself accountable in nobility and integrity to my word, and kind acts to others. I was doing all those things. But I wasn't identifying what we call the scary, icky stuff, right? So we can look at the nobility and the kindness and all that stuff. We can look at that and And we can see others not doing it, and we can see ourselves doing it. And then we can see ourselves getting mad and angry and frustrated that others aren't doing it and we're doing it, and why aren't they joining in? And then we could keep attracting, right? Because the energy has been, if you're a giver, then you draw in a taker. Or if you're hurt, if you're, there's a lot of layers to this. So which one should we go to? There's a lot to look at. The conclusion to this piece of it, because I don't want to go down those rabbit holes yet, but they're worthy of going down, and I will. We're already at 10 minutes, so I want to keep this clean. That we aren't a part of the things that we see. We are only a part of what we can comprehend as us. So getting to know yourself is about understanding. And I got a chance to know it by when I would take the experience I was having and I would bring it up to the light. After I discovered I could do that with the assistance of the Divine Mother and Father helping me. Because it's like, do you know mathematics? No, I have amnesia. Do you know your greatest soul's possibility? No, I have amnesia. So I bring everything to the light, and I know that it's part of me. The reason why I chose to have amnesia was because I had to remember a way to have a relationship with the Divine Mother and the Divine Father. That is for me. Guess what? My truth isn't your truth, and my truth doesn't have to be your truth. My truth is Susan's truth, because I'm having the experience and I'm sharing my experience. I am not telling anyone this is the only way. I mean, my gosh. There's not one way to discover yourself. And I don't know who the hell you are. I only know me. I'm sharing Susan, you silly. Part of self looking at me, asking me to be different than who I am. For what reason? Why you tell me I'm trying to make you different for who you are. No, come on. Come on now. We can have some fun while we're doing this. I mean, it doesn't have to be all so serious, but that is how I discovered that portion of it. Right? And then, so I got to discover Mother, Father, God again. What? Oh my gosh, it took me so long. It took me a really long time, and I had a lot of trust issues around trusting, because I had issues around trust. So I kept attracting teachers and people outside of myself that didn't feel right. So I was like, there's a crack in their foundation. So I was like, there's a crack. So I learned how to start pointing to the cracks, and that was a way to stay safe. I'm just saying, here's just some of the many aspects of Susan that I've gotten to know, so I can laugh and giggle now with myself instead of thinking the story is real or the feelings attached to those stories are real, when all that's really occurring is a new part of myself to see and appreciate and understand. And that's kind of the sum total of getting to know yourself. But I'm going to end this right now by saying to myself, for myself, which is the only person I'm really with in this moment, I just think you are delightful, Susan. I love the way you see life. I love the way you're willing to explore it. And I love the way you are willing to share it. Don't ever change. In fact, keep taking a deeper dive into this journey of self-discovery. I think you'll be quite excited with what you discover. The best is yet to come.